Flash Professional deals with a number of file formats for both authoring and output. Here we examine some of the most used file formats when dealing with Flash content. So here I am at my welcome screen in Flash Professional CS6, and I'm going to create a simple ActionScript 3 document here. And this creates, of course, a blank document for us. And you'll notice that it names it Untitled-1. This isn't yet any sort of a document format as far as a file goes until I actually go to File, Save. So when I do this, I can save this as an FLA, which is a Flash CS6 document, but I also have a number of other choices. I can also save it as an XFL. When I save my document as an XFL, it's going to save it in sort of an uncompressed format. When I save it as an FLA, that saves it as a compressed format. Now, this format, FLA, used to be just one big file, but now it's actually just pretty much a zipped version of the XFL file. So let's save it first as an FLA. And on my desktop, I'll just create a new folder so we can see how this appears. And we'll simply call it Formats. So when I go in here, I can save my doc.fla. And I'll also go in and save as my Flash CS6 uncompressed document, or an XFL file. Now let's open up that directory I just created and have a look and see exactly what's happened here, what Flash has produced for us. So in this FLA, this is just one file that we can use, and it's very portable and so forth. However, the XFL file is actually contained in this little directory here. Remember, this is uncompressed. So it has things like bin, a representation of our library, metadata, and here's the XFL document right here, and there's all sorts of little XML files that go along with that. So this is what happens if you save as XFL. When you save as FLA, you just get this one file. So I have this doc.fla here. This is just a compressed version of what I would have in the XFL file. So I can rename this to something like doc.zip. And then if I open that up, you can see the exact same structure here. And the FLA actually contains an XFL version of itself within there. So it's important to recognize that no matter what format you choose, whether the compressed or uncompressed, it's actually saving everything the exact same way. So why would you want to do this uncompressed stuff instead of saving as an FLA? Well, if you're checking things into a versioning system, having all this stuff uncompressed and just raw files is going to give you a lot more leverage as far as what gets checked in at specific times. You can easily swap out library items and so forth. So it gives you a little more flexibility. However, the FLA format gives you more portability. So really, it's up to you and what you're trying to do in a specific project. Returning to Flash Professional, you might have noticed when we go Save As that we actually have a number of other things we can save as well. So aside from CS6 documents, we can save down to previous versions. And we can save down to CS 5.5 or to CS5 using Flash Professional CS6. So as far as output formats go, that's all going to depend on our target here. So right here I'm choosing Flash Player. Anytime you choose Flash Player as a target, it's going to produce a SWF file. And a SWF file is .swf, and this is actually what's used embedded, if you will, on a website within HTML pages. So this is what you use to target Flash Player. And you can see here we can target Flash Player 5 all the way up to Flash Player 11.2. If I choose Air 2.5 or Air 3.2 for desktop, it's going to produce for us a .air or .air file. And a .air file is cross-platform, just like a SWF. except it's installed on the desktop. And it can be installed, in the case of 3.2, on Mac and Windows. In the case of Air 2.5, you can target Mac, Windows, or Linux. If I choose Air 3.2 for Android, it will create an APK for us that we can install on an Android device. And if we choose Air 3.2 for iOS, it will create for us an IPA, which we can install on iOS devices. One more mention of a sort of common format is the projector format. And for this, we actually have to go into our publish settings. So let's do that now. And we can see here that there are an additional number of formats that we can choose. So I'm on Windows, so I would choose a Windows projector, but if you're on a Mac, you could choose Mac projector. And basically what this does, you can see here, is create an executable. This will bundle the actual Flash player along with your Swift file and create just one solid executable for that. So you'll have a little standalone movie that you can play, or a little application, and you won't necessarily be tied to the user needing Flash player on their machine in order to view your content. However, executable is limited, the projector, because there are some things you can't do with it, and there are also a lot of restrictions, especially in corporate environments. They don't want you passing executables around all over their network usually. So this has been an example of the more common file formats for both saving and authoring Flash projects and also targeting Flash project output.